Back in 1962, Agri Supplies started with a simple creed: provide good, solid products at a fair price. Add in stellar customer service and you have the best option. There's 9 locations across North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Georgia, and their robust online ordering makes it easy for anyone in the world to experience the Agri way. Don't hesitate. Go to agrisupply.com to find just the product you're looking for. Unless you're saddling up a horse, getting to your favorite fishing or hunting destination depends on fuel. That's why we choose Quality Mart, Quality Plus, and Go Gas. With 137 locations across North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and South Carolina, you'll find the fuel to get you to the field or on the water, and the ice, drinks, and snacks to enjoy your time while you're there. That's Quality Mart, Quality Plus, and Go Gas, official partners of Carolina All Out.
It's the Carolina All Out Fins, Fur, and Feathers podcast with Chris Douglas, where the conversation covers all things in the NC outdoors pertaining to hunting and fishing. Like and subscribe to get all the hunting and fishing info from the top guides, locals, and conservation agencies. Hear from biologists and professionals in the field about what things matter to you most. From the studios in Lemon Springs, North Carolina, your host, Chris Douglas.
And welcome to the Carolina All Out Fins, Fur, and Feathers podcast, brought to you by our friends at Carolina Cooker. This is where the people who love the outdoors come to find out about the great state of North Carolina and what she has to offer in the hunting and fishing space. I'm, of course, your host, Chris Douglas, and guess who's back? Ole Josh.
Oh, Josh.
Josh is in the house.
It's been a little while.
It sure has. I wouldn't call it a hiatus, but because you've been working.
Yeah.
Josh has got a lot of stuff going on. So what we're going to be talking about today is what's going on with Carolina All Out. That's the question whenever I'm out and about in the public, and whether it's family, friends, whomever, we are always talking about, or somebody's asking us, what are you up to? What's going on? So we figured we'd do this podcast, being we've been turkey hunting this morning, and we do this podcast to let everybody know what's going on, and because we are going into the 9th season of Carolina All Out, which will start in July, and so we got a lot of stuff happening there. So we'll kick it off with Josh. And Josh, you've had a lot going on back since the winter.
Yeah. Lots of bow shooting, lots of hunting, and primarily that editing suite. That's where I've spend most of my time these days. So, but yeah, lots going on.
Well, talk to everyone about your archery. So let me set it up for Josh, because he doesn't like to toot his own horn. Josh is an archery guy at heart. I really think he encourages me all the time to get back into archery to a level that I used to do it. And I'm telling you, I used to love it, absolutely. And I still do love archery. It's just doing these TV shows, we have found that the success rate goes up when you use guns.
Right. Extremely, when you're trying to video, for sure.
When we're trying to make, and North Carolina loves guns, and no one seems to have a problem with the gun shoot going on. So, but I do love archery, and that's what got me started in this whole video thing, was watching archery videos. So, Josh is an accomplished archer. At a level, hadn't really, you did some, so tell everybody, you started, give them your journey in archery.
Well, as far as archery goes, my dad, obviously he started it for me, and originally it was to extend our hunting seasons, right?
Right.
So if you hunt with a bow, you can hunt a month before people with guns do, so, and that's pretty much why he started it. But alongside that, we just started shooting 3D tournaments when I was younger, and apparently I was like a little all-star when I was younger,
right.
And people would crowd around to watch me, but that was when I was, all the way up until I was 9 or 10 years old, but never really thought about shooting competitively. And so this year, I literally just said I'm going to go for it and started shooting some big indoor tournaments, and actually did pretty good at it. So I think I'm stuck with it now. So
he did. I'll let him tell you all about what he did. But for somebody to come kind of out of the blue and start back in archery, you did pretty good there. You went to let them know where you went. You've been doing some local archery, ASA tournaments, maybe some.
I did. I've always done just some local 3D tournaments, and always thought, it's like I said, I've won some small trophies and did some small stuff like that, and I always thought, it's like I was never good enough to do what these guys are doing on TV, you know, but I started watching some of the Lancaster Archery Classic, which is an indoor 20-yard shoot, 3-spot Vegas style. And I'd been watching that for a few years and also on the side kind of shooting that same style of archery at the house. I was like, dude, I can hang with these guys. I really feel like I can do that. So what I did was my first tournament, I decided to sign up for the Lancaster Archery Classic the last day of the last hour of signups on I think it was like January 20, I don't know what day it was, but it was literally the last day of the last hour you could sign up, and I just went for it and signed up. Never shot a tournament like that before, never even been in a tournament scene like that before on an indoor archery shoot, you know, where there's hundreds of people shooting together at the same time. So that was kind of my start into it, just because I'd been watching them doing it on YouTube, and I just figured, hey, I feel like I can hang with these guys, so I just want to try it. Well, anyways, I go there and end up placing 35th out of like 180. And at the time, I just thought that was like the most awesome thing ever, right? You know, with my bow hunting setup, with my my deer hunting setup. And of course, the family's hooting and hollering. They just think that's the awesomest thing in the world, you know. And of course, I didn't even make it to the top 32 to shoot for the big show. You know, it's like they take the top 32 people and then they go into brackets and do shoot-offs and stuff like that. So, but I was pretty hooked. Had a pretty awesome time, and my dad had a pretty awesome time as well. So he encouraged me to keep going along with it. And so a couple weeks later, I buy a new bow, like an actual target style bow, buy new arrows, get better equipment, and decide that I'm going to go to the Vegas tournament. And there's lots of stuff going on between this time, but you know, in my heart, I felt like this equipment would help me do a lot better in the next tournament. You know, that I felt like my equipment was to a point holding me back. And so, shot my first 300 round at First Flight Archery, my local shop down the road. Decided to go for the Vegas shoot and ended up placing second in Vegas with my new equipment. So it's just obvious that equipment to a certain extent can help. So
that's pretty awesome. I mean, really, to go from not shooting to jumping in, you know, top 35 out of 180, that puts you in the what? That puts you in the top third.
Right, yeah.
And then you jump from there all the way to second place.
Yeah.
You know, that's a confidence builder. Obviously, probably a lot of stuff going on in your head, and you know, and because it's a head game, just as much as a skill game, I guess, just like golf.
It's
suppose.
Absolutely a head game because I do want to preface, I was shooting the bow hunter freestyle class,
right?
So that has limitations on your sight. You can't have any lenses, or you can have a scope, but you can't have any lenses in the scope.
Right.
You have to shoot pins, and your the front stabilizer has to be shorter than 12 inches long.
Now, if you haven't seen these setups for the open classes, they're just like the ridiculous. I don't know how long
30-inch, 33-inch
bars that they put on the front of these stabilizers out there. Just a lot of souped up gear. I worked a little bit I didn't shoot in that industry, but I worked a little bit of time in there with Levi Morgan and those guys years ago, and watching all that stuff. And that was actually a time I think there was a little new push with Bee Stinger and all that stuff, and they were new ways to balance and new kind of technology and that sort of stuff. So it was very interesting. But yeah, you were just shooting basically you'd walk out, you could put broadheads on the front of yours, tune them up, and you could go in the woods with your setup.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, my Vegas setup definitely couldn't do that. Right. That was straight up a target setup. But, you know, the bow hunter class was used for newer guys like myself who've not shot a lot of tournaments to be able to take the rig that they have right now and be able to compete and actually finish fairly decent, you know. So, and so I just want to preface that's the class I was shooting in both Lancaster and Vegas.
So Lancaster Archer, for those who don't know, it's Lancaster is what
Lancaster.
Lancaster
if
is
you're
what
from up north.
If you're from up that way, and they kind of want you to say it that way, that's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So Josh is traveling now, and then he gets on a plane. And
flying with a bow for the first time.
Yeah, going through the whole process, getting to Vegas, first time in Vegas.
First time in Vegas.
So he gets a big experience all the way around
Yeah.
out there. And but we're very proud of Josh and what he's trying to accomplish there. You know, kind of pick that up, not later in life, but still in your late 20s, you moving
later
on.
than most people are winning at. You know, most of the
Right.
guys that are winning now, you know, they can be anywhere from 15 years old to 25 years old. You know, it's kind of a younger guy's game, but you know, I kind of see it as I never shot it when I was that age,
Right.
So maybe I'm still fresh now. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Josh is now he's hooked on that. Now I got to try to keep Josh in front of the computer in the studio because we've got shows to shoot there, because that's what this whole thing is about here at Carolina All Out. We are content creators, and so Josh has got reams and reams of media that he has to file through to be able to create the shows that you see out there. So again, for those who might not know, Ole Josh, who we love to call Old Josh, Josh Lawler.
That has stuck pretty good. The old Josh.
I think we're going to make a T-shirt. I really do. I think there's going to be a T-shirt at some point in time. But anyway, Old Josh has been is the reason why Carolina All Out looks as good as it does is because of the work that Josh does. Very creative person and has got the chops in the field. I would know this because I spent a lot of years doing it myself, and so I see what Josh is doing now and what he's accomplished and how he's grown as a videographer and of course an editor and producer. And I'm thrilled. We're thrilled with the product, and it shows. People are seeing this thing nationally, internationally for that matter, and we love it. And it's about North Carolina and what she has to offer, and we say that all the time. So anyway, Josh is now shooting archery tournament wise and trying to cut shows. So let's talk a little bit. We'll jump into what we have on the chopping block. What's on the deck right now?
Right now, I'm finishing up as far as just a good basic cut is the deer show, just because that's my most favorite one to start off with.
Right. I tell Josh, he was like, "What do you think we should start on?" I say, "Start off with one you like the best. That way, it just kind of gets you into it. You're enthusiastic about
Right,
it. You're motivated.
Yep.
And so that kind of gets you into that thing. So we took a deer. I say we. I speak in that kind of terms all the time because it really is a we thing, because Josh is right there. And Josh did a huge amount of scouting this year when I was busy in the studio, and he was really staying on top of the deer more than me. So it's a we thing. So anyway, we took a nice buck, really one of our kind of our hit list deer, because he was showing up on cameras. And I was like, I would shoot him if we ever had a chance. So
that's a camera deer if we ever saw one right there.
Yeah,
as we call
nice
it.
11-point, a little broke up, but and you guys might have seen some of the pictures and that sort of stuff out there on social media from him. But we're very proud of the buck, and right there on our farm, and he was all over the place. He was crossing roads and highways and everything else there, but he ended up in front of us one evening, and we got it done. And so now Josh is in the middle of cutting that. Now, let's see. I've got a list of things if anybody cares and anybody's wondering what we might have lined up for this year. So let's see here. All right, we got a bull red show that's coming up too,
And a little bit different one as well.
Yeah, we used cut bait for that one.
Yeah, no popping corks this time.
No popping corks, but we were with our good friend Scooter Lilly, and there's some really cool stuff that's coming up this year that we can talk about that concerning the bull reds. But we did bull red. We've got a bull red show that'll be coming up this year. The crows, that's going to be an interesting one, isn't it?
The crows,
Yeah, because we've been, if you guys have seen us play quite a few social media videos about crows, and we love hunting crows, and we were fortunate enough early on in our when we started this thing to get hooked up with a gentleman by the name of Skip Woody. And Skip is he could potentially be one of the most accomplished crow hunters in North Carolina for sure.
Maybe East Coast for
East
sure.
Coast for sure. And I don't know what makes numbers of crows. He's got them, man. I mean, he's got the numbers. But he's very, very good. I mean, he's a master. Actually, he's master class in rifle and in shotgun.
Yeah, he's a sportsman for sure.
Yeah, Skip's old school sportsman. We love Skip, and And so he has shown us a lot, taught us a lot about it, and we've paid a lot of attention because we've been fortunate enough to get out there and hunt with him. And so a lot of things, and you know, Skip does a lot of scouting, and that's what it takes when you're talking about birds. So anyway, crows are going to be. We're not sure exactly how we're going to bring that crow show together, but we've got a lot of crow kills that should make a pretty good show.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Skip, he doesn't waste his time with the little 10-bird farm shoots. He's looking for big roost shoots. So.
Yeah, when you're talking about crows, you got two different types of shoots, really. You got the running gun where you'll shoot, 5, 6, 10 here, and then you move to another farm, and then you do that again and again and again. And then you have the what we would call a flyway shoot, which is what we try to get into. And that's where you've got multiple birds coming at different times, time enough for a bird to call a bird off the flyway, to come into your setup, shoot him, and then the other birds that are coming in are not close enough to really get spooked by it all.
Right.
Because if you have a whole flock of birds coming at one time, like your whole roost comes in, if you're close enough to a roost where they fly off and come to your calls, it's over very quickly.
3 shots and pretty much they've all heard you.
Yeah, and it's over with. So this is a very effective way to do it, and we were taught that by Skip. So shout out to Skip, and we're trying to find more of those. And if just by chance, I'll throw this out there, if anyone is in the Mebane area and has a farm that we could get on, we would love to get on. There's some crows around that area there that we'd love to be able to get on to hunt there. So if you please DM us in social media on Facebook or Instagram, and let's get into a discussion about that, because we'd love to be able to do that kind of thing there in the Mebane area, because we think we could make a really nice show out of that, because there's a lot of birds up that way. Okay, moving on to what else we got here. We have got Hiwassee Striper. We just did that show.
Just did that one, yeah.
And Hiwassee is a lake. Lake Hiwassee is in Cherokee County, right at the furthermost tip of North Carolina.
I didn't think we was ever going to get there.
I know, and
as far as you can go.
It is, and to think that we actually went a little bit further the year before, but we were right there looking at the dam. I mean, where we were staying at was looking down at the Hiwassee Dam, and there was, of course, the Lake Appalachia, which is below that. We did a trout show, but anyway, we did Lake Hiwassee, and that is, they have got a really good population of stripers there. We caught, I think the biggest one I caught was like 15 pounds, and that was really nice. We were trolling for these fish. We did cast to some, and we did hook up on a couple of occasions. But that's a really beautiful lake and just a fun lake to be on, and so we're very excited about that show, being able to show everyone. We did that with the 2 bald biologists, Corey and Ben, and stayed at the cabin and did that whole thing. It's a lot of fun. Every year I look forward to those kind of trips there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was great. Moving on to, we've got Jordan Crappie. We did that show not long ago with Kyle Farwell.
That's right.
And Kyle did a really good job for us on that, and he's a big optics guy or sonar guy, forward-facing sonar.
Yep.
And it was very interesting. We learned a lot on that trip as well. Hopefully people learned something from that.
Trying to find those isolated big fish that were by themselves, out in the middle of nothing. But using the electronics to do it. I mean, if you didn't have that, you'd have no idea where they were.
No idea. I know it. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing, though, where a crappie in the 2-pound range will be sitting out there in 15 feet of water with no bait, no structure,
just suspended,
just hanging there.
Yep.
And that was really interesting. So those are fish that you don't know that are there. You would pass over, but with this forward-facing sonar, it's down scope, live scope, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty neat. So, and I'm sure we'll get there's some hate out there because of those
video game fishing.
Yeah, video game fishing. I would say that would be true. If I had to play a video game, that would be my video game to play.
That's right.
That's for sure. And that stuff's just going to get better and better as time goes on. I think somebody made a comment to me. It's like, anybody can catch a fish with that. And I said, exactly.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
That's the fun part. But the frustrating part about it is that you're looking at fish and they are not biting what you're casting to them, and that's frustrating. So it's got its downsides as well there, but it is fun. I had a lot of fun there. We did kill a turkey the other day, kill a nice turkey, and then
did. Yep.
And we're turkey hunting right now, and Josh is trying to get on one. Josh, you've been trying to shoot one with a bow?
Yeah, I've missed the same turkey twice. I will say not technically my fault. They've all been limb deflections, but that turkey's got 9 lives, so I tried to come up here and see if I could get one of yours.
Yeah, well, that's fine. We wanted to see if Josh could do one down here. And we've got a lot of birds, and everybody that's in our area knows we've got a lot of rye out. The fields are full of rye, so you just can't see the birds, and the birds don't really like being in the rye. So if you have a farm that doesn't have it, you probably got birds.
That's right.
And that's and so hopefully we'll tag out the rest of the tag out for you, and then we'll call that a complete show, and we'll have a nice turkey show for everybody there. We are going spring hybrid fishing on Lake Norman. That's one of the deals, and we would be there today, but that one got canceled because they just haven't started making their run yet. And hybrid striped bass are they go through the motions. They shoot blanks, but they go through the motion. So they travel upriver into the currents to spawn or to go through those motions of spawning, but there's nothing that happens there. So and those fish are supported by the Wildlife Resources Commission, and they're stocked there pretty much yearly. I think they keep a good population coming on all the time. So
it'd be interesting to see the difference between when we caught them with Corey in the wintertime versus springtime fishing for them.
Yeah. I like it's up in the river. It's up in the Catawba River. So that's according to what they tell me, the Catawba, that's not a very big watershed that fills Norman. Mm-hmm. And that's why it doesn't have the nutrients that other rivers do. But it's enough for those hybrids to be able to do their thing there. So that we'll go up a pretty shallow river in the Catawba there around the rocks and catch them around structure and that sort of stuff, which is a lot of fun. It's how I learned to catch hybrids back in the day below Buckhorn Dam, if anybody remembers that fishery, which was awesome. And I keep telling Corey and them they've got to do that again. I got to do that. Wink, wink. Come on, put those back in there because we enjoyed that. That was such a fun time catching those fish back in the day. There's a lot of other. There's quite a few others. We've got a show on the Curry Tuck. Another gun show we'll be doing, and we are looking forward to a Neuse River creek boat show. We always try to do one of those every year, and if we're successful, we might just cook a few on the bank, do another catch, clean, cook.
That's my favorite part, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of fun there. Well, look, we're going to go to a break real quick. We want to get into some more stuff that's going on here with us. If you want to know what's going on with Carolina All Out, this is the podcast to listen to because we're going to try to do these fairly often just to keep everybody up to speed with what's going on. So stay tuned. We'll be back right after these messages. Keeping up with Carolina All Out is easy. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Like and follow to keep up with the All Out crew and our friends with posts, stories, and reels that will inspire you to get outdoors. There's some things in life that just makes you feel good when you see it, and something cooking in an old black cast iron skillet does it for me. There's nothing like it, and if it does it for you, then my friends over at Carolina Cooker have just the equipment you need for outdoor cooking, camping, kitchen accessories, and food processing. Check out carolinacooker.com to order from their huge selection, and also find a store near you that carries the brand born in the Carolinas. Carolina Cooker, tools, cooks, legends, you create the tradition. And we are back with the Carolina All Out Fence Fur and Feathers podcast. Ole Josh is in the house, and we've been talking a little bit about what we've got going on, where we've been. We've had some, really great times this back in the fall. We've had a few guests on the show prior to this one, and we're very excited about the podcast, by the way, and we thank you so much for listening to the Fence Fur and Feathers podcast because this is a kind of a new platform for us, even though we've been into this for a year now. We don't see the podcast genre going away anytime soon. This thing seems to be here to stay, and so we're glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think it's stuck pretty good now. So.
Yeah, who would have thought? We were always told that our attention spans are going away,
right?
And then now here comes Joe Rogan and the other guys, and now they've got hour or 2 hour us having that long, and people will listen that long, and I'm amazed by it. But I'm getting more and more into podcasts, and I'm learning, and so I'm learning a little bit more about that. And so we're trying to keep these as interesting as possible. This is just a show just about what's going on with Carolina All Out right now. And we've got more guests coming on down the line. So we were just talking about Josh's experiences. He's been shooting archery and competitively. Did we talk real quick to go back to that? Did we talk about are you going back to Lancaster and Vegas again?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's the weird thing. I started so late, and did so well for my first time at Vegas. It's like I definitely don't want to shoot the bow hunter class again for
Right.
Vegas, but I would love to shoot Lancaster, or Lancaster as they call
Right.
it. I would love to shoot that again in bow hunter to see if I can do well. So I guess it just depends,
Right.
I would have to really have some confidence to shoot the Vegas again, because I definitely probably want to shoot the open class or even the pro class. If you're going to do it, might as well go big and try it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, you'll be up there with them. That's the big dogs up there.
that is the big dogs.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But that's the good thing is if you can just shoot the clean 900 for your qualifying, you get to shoot on the stage. But as easy as it may seem with all that nice equipment, a 900 is not that easy to do, because it's all in your head for sure.
Man, I wouldn't even know where to begin with that.
Just don't begin at all. That's probably the best thing.
I listened to those guys when I was working with them. And they told me, your bow's once you get to full draw, your bow's gonna start doing that figure 8 thing. And it's like, man, mine draws like a 361, 283. I mean, that thing's going everywhere. It's not doing a figure 8 and breaking, and everybody's, when you're putting that back pressure on and all the different styles of releases, it's amazing. But one thing that I did find, and I'll move on from this real quick, was whenever I was working on those videos, that it seemed like these guys were tuning up their bows. It's almost like a horsepower at a time for an engine, They were just they would do this and get that much more accuracy out of it, that much more consistency out of it. And they just tweaked. And I'm not saying they just kept tweaking the same thing over. They were doing different things on their bows to make it better. More consistent.
I will say shooting competition has helped me so much with learning my shot process and actually being more accurate for hunting, for shooting, for anything like that. Because I'll tell you this, in my opinion, nothing helps your accuracy more than having the perfect draw length. Has nothing to do, to me, it has nothing to do with stabilizers, nothing to do with the release, nothing to do with, obviously all those things play a part, but I really saw a difference once I started messing with my draw length. Like I used to think I was 27 and a half. Well, now I'm more like 28 and 3/4. I really like a big extended shot where that I can really relax.
Right.
And that's just one thing that these guys are doing. When you shoot at that level, any 1/8 of an inch, any micro tunage that you can do is going to help them. And if it can help them, they will do it.
Right.
So I would say that don't just shoot 27 and a half just because that's what somebody told you to do, or don't just shoot 28 or 29. Actually mess with it, shorten it, lengthen it, and shoot groups and see how that pin floats. And if it floats better a little bit longer, then leave it there.
Right, right.
I do understand that hunting is a lot of times it's better to shoot a little bit shorter draw length.
Because of the clothing.
Because of the clothing, because of weird angles. Like that turkey bow I've got set up right there, I think that thing's on like 27 inches.
Right.
Because I'm only going to be shooting 20 yards at the most, and I have to shoot sitting down.
Right.
But as far as pure accuracy, I really saw a difference when I started manipulating my draw length. So absolutely get into target archery, because it's going to make you a better archer in general, and it's going to help you learn how to work on your own equipment as well.
Yeah.
So,
that's good. There's you some advice, folks. Get out there and work on your own stuff.
pro tip from an amateur.
Get you an Allen wrench
Get you
and go to tweak it. Go to crank it.
Yeah, I will say, don't mess your stuff up. Go to a good archery shop. If you don't have a press or anything like that, tell them what you're trying to do. Don't go in at a busy time, and more than likely they're going to help you out.
Yeah, well, that's good. Good advice there. Well, in addition to what Josh has been going on, we've talked about that, and we talked about some of our upcoming trips we have. I should always take the time to talk about our sponsors, and I'm not going to make this a big ad, but people are, talking to me about, they see something on TV, Agri Supply, of course, our great friends at Agri Supply, and they tell me, hey, I just went over to Agri Supply and bought something. And I'm very grateful for that whenever they do that. But they tell me, I love it when they come back and tell me, I had no idea. I had no idea that Agri Supply had this and they had that, and I love the Carolina cooker stuff and I love this and that sort of thing. So that's obviously, I guess you could say we're doing our job whenever those kind of things happen, but we have picked up some new sponsors. And of course we still have many, if not all of our same traditional sponsors that we've had, and we want to definitely mention them. But I'll mention a few that we've gotten, a few new ones we've gotten, and so you guys may or may not recognize the brands, but they all have something cool going on, and one of those is Chili Water. And
Chili water.
And Josh, these are going to be some new ones for Josh, probably just because Josh has been busy.
Yeah.
So while Josh is doing the production and editing, as a behind the scenes thing, I am on the phone and I am on the road visiting with sponsors and talking with new sponsors, potential new sponsors, and sitting down and presenting our packages and all that stuff. And so if we want to put into percentages what it takes to do this, it's an 80-20 deal. It's 80% computer and sales work and 20% hunting and fishing.
That's right.
I wished it was the other way around.
Yeah, people only get to see the shiny stuff that we make.
Yeah, it looks good, and I don't want to take anything away from what's going on. We love it. Obviously, no one feels sorry for Josh or Chris because we look like we hunt and fish all the time, and I'll take that because we are here to entertain you. I hope we are teaching you a few things, and that's something else we'll talk about too, about education wise. But at this this juncture, we have to do so much work to make this show. Be able to fund this show to do the work that we do. So part of that is sales. So Chili Water, let me explain Chili Water to you. That is a product of Carolina Ice. So if you see, you walk into a convenience store anywhere in North Carolina, potentially you will see, especially in the eastern part of North Carolina, you will see those coolers out there that say Carolina Ice. You might see the trucks rolling around, and the Edwards family has been running this thing since the beginning. And they have a great product, ice water. Their ice is great. I love it. And we were talking with them, and they say, hey, we're launching a new product, Chili Water. And so what Chili Water is canned water.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought? It's canned water, but it's a convenient, it's the convenient size. You know how cans fit so well in any type of cooler out there, and so that's a big business out there. Water obviously is a big business. You got Liquid Death and those guys that have canned water, and so This is a new product out right now, and they are taking the state by storm, especially down east right now. They are up and down. I mean, I see probably 2 or 3 new stores every day that have taken on Chili Water and are now stocking it in their coolers, and that is just in time for the hot season that's coming up.
That's right. Yep.
So
Summer's coming.
And Stuart and the Edwards family, and Stuart, shout out to Stuart. Stuart just had twins. He and his wife just had twins, and they're beautiful. And they're in the hospital right now. Of course, it takes some time to get them where they can come home, and so he's working with that. And I think he's in love with his children. I would imagine so. They're beautiful. And shout out to Stuart Edwards for his new kids that he's got on the way. He's got a lot ahead of him there, so I'm excited for him. But yeah, he and I've been talking about this. We were actually at the Greenville show together, and we were just talking about Chili Water and everything, and it just fits perfectly with us. It's not a hunting product per se, but it is a convenient product that you will see in hunters and fishermen's coolers, anglers' coolers for years to come. And so we're very excited to have Chili Water on board. So thank you very much, Stuart, and looking forward to showing everybody that. So please go out and go get you some Chili Water. It should be showing up in stores soon, and it's great tasting water. To be canned, I'm not kidding you. I was surprised, and I was very, very happy that it is, because I get to push a product that I would drink.
That's right. You don't have to worry about all those plastics either.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's part of the reason why that is going to do so well. And speaking of convenience stores, we have picked up Quality Oil, and Quality Oil owns about 3 different brands. So if you're in a town that has a Quality Mart, a Quality Plus, or a Go Gas. Those are all owned by the Quality Oil family, and they are big proponents of the outdoors, hunting and fishing. And so we've been working on this deal for some time, and we finally put it together. So you're going to see us. You are going to see us on the pumps.
Yeah. Instead of a annoying news station or whatever ads, you might just see a turkey getting shot or something like that.
Yeah, as much as they'll allow us to do that.
Right.
Well, we're really excited about that because it's a different medium. You know, the pumps. I know. You go there and you get Cheddar News and all those other crazy things that are just annoying. But we hope that these are going to be images, and audio is very important.
Yeah,
because I feel like a good old boy will be sitting there putting gas in a truck, and that thing's going to crank up and he's going to hear a turkey gobble. I think I can get him to look at that screen.
That's right. Sometimes I'll jump in and shut the door just so I don't have to hear it, but you can still hear it's pretty loud. So.
Some of them are so loud, yeah. So yeah, that's we're really excited about those. We'll be playing videos, and we're going to bring our sponsors involved. You're going to see quite a bit of stuff. We hope to have some campaigns going on, when hunting and fishing season comes in. I mean, it's of course fishing now, so we'll be pushing fishing, but when hunting season comes in, you're going to see some hunting scenes happening on the screen. We may not be able to put any kills. I don't think we're going to be putting any kills. I know Josh is very disappointed about that.
No top 10 crow kills or something like that.
Oh, that's a good idea, Josh. Actually, the top 10 kills by Carolina All Out. Wouldn't that be great? On it, man. That would. I think that would assault the senses of some of the single or the moms, soccer moms, and that sort of stuff who are just trying to get gas in the car before they go off to the next thing. But we feel like that's going to resonate because we know that you, as an outdoorsman, many times you obviously are picking up your fuel at convenience stores, but you're picking up ice, you're picking up snacks, drinks, chili water. And so you've got a reason to be there, and we hope that you will support them because they are reaching out. And, Quality Oil is saying they're making a stand with us and saying, we support the outdoors, we support conservation, we support hunting and fishing. And so we know that our family of outdoorsmen will support whoever supports them. So they are doing that, and we hope that you will go out and next time. It's the yellow and orange stores. A lot of times they have they're not always shell, I don't think, but they have the yellow and orange trim there. So you can check it out sometime, and I feel like you should do that because Quality Oil is making a stand with us, so we're going to make a stand with them there. Let's see. We have had a product with us. We've been using the Game Reaper or DNZ products forever. I mean, I've been knowing Tim Coggins and the folks down there for a long, long time. They're based in Sanford, North Carolina, which is our hometown. And Tim has recently started making plastic baits, soft baits. And he's got a really great selection of that. And they're calling them Game Reaper baits. And we are now, we've got a bunch of them, and we're going to be fishing with them and showing everybody how good they do. I'm very excited about this product because it's stepping outside of his, Tim loves to fish, by the way. He's a big fisherman. Right. And he and I talk about fishing quite a bit. And so when he let me know that they were doing that, I was like, that's great. I went to the Bass and Saltwater Expo and saw they had all his baits up there, and they were great. And so we had our meeting the other day, and he said, yeah, I'd like to push these. And I said, okay, let's push them. So we're going to be using Game Reaper baits, and we'll probably be doing some giveaways with them, let you guys try them out, get some feedback from you on what you think about the baits, and we'll see how that goes. But we're excited about Game Reaper baits and what they stand for, but also the fact that it's just, those guys are mold makers. That's what they do. So they could do this all day long and make all sorts of baits.
Well, the best thing is it's North Carolina. They're made right down the road, dude.
I mean, literally right down the road, right in my hometown, and I'm very proud of that. Anytime. I mean, DNZ, you guys know the DNZ one-piece aluminum scope mounts that they have been doing for years, and they're the best. They truly are some of the best out there in the business. And Tim's very conscientious about his work, and he's just he just goes at it every day, all day long. So yeah, we'll put those up. We're going to make these things more available to you through our social media, through our store, and other things like that. So you'll get a chance if you want to order some. We definitely want you to start reaching out and ordering some. They have a lot of them in stock, and they're ready to go. So That'd be a great place to get started on those and catching fish with those things there. But of course, we're going to be putting those D&Z mounts on everything we have. So
That's right. Yeah.
So that'll be great for the future there. We also have, this is a new one. We're going to see how this goes, and we're very excited about it because we love music, and we have live from OBX. So if any of you listening have ever been to the Manteo amphitheater, I'm not sure exactly what it's called. I went to see Jamie Johnson and Whitey Morgan back last summer there, and it was a fantastic venue. Not very big, about 4,000 max, but it is a open air amphitheater. The coolest part of it, I think, well, one of the cool things is that you have to go through the old town of Manteo and walk through that to get to this thing. And so you're just like historical. You know how I am about history. So everything's so historical there. But then the back of the stage is opened up, and you're looking at the sound all the way across over to the Outer Banks. So this is just a beautiful stretch of water behind you, or excuse me, in front of you, but behind the band.
Right, yeah.
And then, the sun starts going down, and it lights up like Pirates Cove and all that, all the Outer Banks over there on that side. And it's like, wow, man, this is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. So they have reached out, and we are joining up with them. They're going to have some great acts coming on this year. Aaron Lewis is coming to town. Is it Charles Wesley Godwin? Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
He's going to be playing Muscadine Bloodline. I think they've got Kool and the Gang coming, and I know Travis Tritt is coming.
Right, yeah.
Whiskey Myers is coming. Lots of good bands that we really like, and our people and our listeners like. So we are going to promote them. They're going to promote us. I don't know exactly all that. We may have an opportunity to have somebody on the boat or in the stand with us, or in the woods somewhere with us that you might recognize, that you follow as a singer or artist. So we'll see how that goes. But we're very excited about that, and we want to promote that. And if you have never been to this venue, you definitely need to try it. It's in Manteo. You can probably just do a search for Manteo Amphitheater, and you'll see it there, and it's a pretty cool thing. So we might get old Josh and Hanier coming over.
Yeah,
come out and
some
see.
concert. Maybe we'll get up on stage and play a little bit too.
Oh yeah, that's been our dream, hadn't it, Josh?
I know,
It's
man.
like,
I just need to get me a fiddle.
Josh
That's all
wants to
I need.
fiddle. Josh always has his dream of being a fiddler in a band. Have you ever heard of such? We get a little silly about that. We're driving down the road and talk about Josh just sawing on that fiddle, man,
That's
for an
right.
Alabama song or something like that. Special guest, Josh Lawler.
And
The
Chris
crowd-
is on lead vocals.
Yeah, man, I'm just clutching that mic with all my might just to try to get the vocals done there. But those are some of our new sponsors that we have coming up, and we're very excited about those. And I cannot not mention our sponsors who've been with us for so long, and of course, Agri Supply and Carolina Cooker. I mean, what more can I say? We're almost synonymous with those names. We've been doing so much with the Appetite for the Outdoors brands, with our Creek Bank kit
Right.
that we've been cooking on for so many years with their single burner. It's been fantastic. There's great family. It's a North Carolina brand that we stand behind, and they stand behind us, and so we're very, very pleased to have them back with us again this year. Of course, the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, and specifically the fisheries. We've been doing quite a few shows with those guys. They've really helped us out with content. We've had some really deep shows, I feel like, because we have had the biologist on board.
That's right.
And so those have made... Have you liked editing those? Have those been pretty easy to edit?
Yeah, those are nice to edit because, I mean, those guys just know what they're talking about. So pretty much all I have to do is just let them talk about what they know,
Right.
And it's cool to have that science part or that biology part into the show itself so people can kind of see why they stock it this way or why they do this or why they do that. And I think it's a pretty cool part of the show.
Yeah, I do like that. I'm just looking at the time. I think what we'll do is we'll take a quick break again, but we'll be back and we'll finish this up. It's not going to be a long podcast, as long as we have done in the past, we promise. But we wanted to get through some of the last of who we have to talk about and kind of get it lined out for what we're going to be doing for the rest of the season. Thank you for tuning in right now. I hope you'll stay tuned. We'll be back right after these messages. Unless you're saddling up a horse, getting to your favorite fishing or hunting destination depends on fuel. That's why we choose Quality Mart, Quality Plus, and Go Gas. With 137 locations across North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and South Carolina, you'll find the fuel to get you to the field or on the water, and the ice, drinks, and snacks to enjoy your time while you're there. That's Quality Mart, Quality Plus, and Go Gas, official partners of Carolina All Out. At some point in your life, I'm betting you have probably thrown a piece of bait on a hook into one of our great state's 7 amazing sounds. If you have, you know how magical they are. Well, that magic is under threat and has been for a long time. That's where the North Carolina Marine and Estuary Foundation comes in, an organization dedicated to improving management practices, educating the public, and developing practical solutions. They want to see North Carolina become the premier fishing destination in the country. And I do too. Visit ncmeffoundation.org to learn more about this wonderful organization and how you can do your part in protecting the 7 jewels of North Carolina and a whole lot more. And we're coming back from the break, and you are listening to the Carolina All Out Fence, Fur, and Feathers podcast. I'm your host, Chris Douglas. Got old Josh back in the house. Old Josh in the house. Old Josh in the house.
That's right. I'll be hanging out here for a little while. So
it seems like we can get him down to do these things whenever we're hunting. So we're doing the turkey hunting thing right now and enjoy. We had a few birds come in.
Yeah.
Well, the jakes came in anyway. Yeah. Gobblers kind of went around us, but we ain't going to give up on them just yet. We're going to keep on trying for them. And we're always excited to be turkey hunting and loving it all the way around. What we've been talking about is what's going on here with Carolina All Out for this year. And Josh has been shooting archery, and Josh is cutting shows, and we're still actually actively shooting shows. And we're talking about our new sponsors is coming on, and we're just kind of talking about AgriSupply and Carolina Cooker, the Wildlife Resources Commission, and how those shows have been going. And we're very, very pleased to be working with Corey Oakley and Ben Ricks, who we've had on this show before. You've seen them on the Carolina All Out show, TV show, and they are the two bald biologists, and their podcast is doing very, very well. And they are kind of we're working together to sponsor one another, actually, do some trading out, and I think it's going to be a really good thing because they get to introduce people from the podcast to us. And by the way, I am going to be coming up on a podcast soon with them. I did a podcast a few weeks ago with them, and so I don't know when that's going to get on the schedule, but we'll try to remind you and let you know and go over and hear us. It's just me talking again with them, but you might find something new because they ask some different questions and that sort of thing. So talking back again, now that we talked about the Wildlife Resources Commission, I have to mention the North Carolina Marine and Estuary Foundation. And they have been with us for quite a few years yet, and what they're doing is fantastic. I love what they're doing. I don't want to mess this up, but I'll try to say it's building world-class fisheries and thriving coastal economies.
that's right. I remember from editing that.
Yeah, world-class fisheries and thriving coastal economies. And so, their whole thing is they want to bring the saltwater fishing, specifically the inshore fishing, because they're a marine and estuary foundation. So they're really focused on the pamlico, the albemarle, and the stump, and all the different the sounds that we have in the estuaries we have in North Carolina. And that is their basis to preserve those. So, but inside of that, if they feel like and I agree with them, if they are preserving these things and we are bringing the fishing back to a world-class status, that this is going to bring more people into fish, and this, in essence, is going to support those fisheries or those economies that are based around the fishing in North Carolina. And so it's a very worthy cause, and they're doing a great work out there. And we're going to be a part of their red drum research that they're doing. So it's going to be kind of fun. We're going to see how that all works. But they're tagging. They're specifically doing the large bull reds. They are tagging these guys with satellite trackers, and then they are monitoring where they are going. And these tags stay on the fish for a certain amount of time, and then they do what they call pop off. And when they pop off, the tracker floats to the top, and a little antenna comes out, and it can actually upload a lot of data to a satellite that's watching them, and that'll give them even more information. They'll be able to track where the fish is at any particular time, but what the big number is, how deep they're going, what kind of fishing, if they were in a feeding kind of setup or whatever else, what they were doing, if they were just sitting there, whatever it is, that they learn a lot from that. So we're very excited because the North Carolina state fish, our saltwater fish, is the red drum, and we have, I think, at least 3 of the top 3 positions as far as IGA catches and all that. Is it IGA International? IFG.
Not even entirely sure yet.
But anyway, it's the body that keeps up with the weight of the line. It's like
Gotcha.
5-pound test.
Yeah.
If you caught a 50-pound fish on a 5-pound test, they're the ones who will hold that record.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, out of 3 positions, all tackle, line, whatever it is, records, we have them. And so, it's important. That's an important fish to us.
It'd be nice to know where they're going and what they're doing,
For sure. I think the new stats are showing last year maybe 2.3 million. I don't want to misquote this, but I know it's in pretty close in there. $2.3 million went toward 2.3 million fishing trips went specifically for red drum in North Carolina.
Yep.
2.3 million trips. I mean, that's insanity to me.
Honestly.
And they say that's even more. They have had even more than that. But what that means to me, as soon as I heard that, I was like, that's a lot of gas for boat motors. That's a lot of snacks, a lot of ice.
Yep.
That's a lot of hotel stays. That's a lot of fishing tackle.
That's a fish worth taking care of right there.
You said that right. Yeah. And so this is what this research is going on to find out where they're going, what they're doing, possibly lay into some of their, to maintain that fishery, to help that fishery grow. So we're very excited about the North Carolina Marine and Estuary Foundation. Check them out online. They are a fantastic group of people. Chad Thomas and Mason Phipps, and man, they're just those guys. I could just go on with the names there, but they're doing a fantastic job, and I really, really appreciate them. Let's move right along. Montgomery Community College. We have to talk about those guys just a little bit because they've done, talking about content, we've had some of our best shows.
Most popular shows, who'd have thought? Taxidermy.
Yep.
So.
Taxidermy shows on the YouTube channel of ours. The top shows that we have are the taxidermy and the 1022 show.
Yep.
Yep. Now, the bear shows do really good. Hound shows do good. But when you're talking about good numbers, I'd say that those shows are the best, and they attract the most people. So if you don't know anything about Montgomery Community College, they have a gunsmithing and taxidermy, knife making, got pottery, forestry, and some other stuff. But they have those kind of things. Now, you got to imagine this is a college campus, and there's a gun range on it.
That's right. Yeah, and we're walking in there with guns too.
I have walked on that campus with guns in my truck.
Yep.
And walked out with guns and put them in my truck.
And dead animals too.
And dead animals, we sure have. So that is a very unique college right there. It's right there in Troy, just on the edge of the Uwharrie National Forest. Beautiful, really quite beautiful campus.
Yeah.
And we work with Mark Dye and the gun over there in the guns. Lynn has done good. Oh my gosh, I don't get in trouble for naming names. We did the A5 with Billy.
Oh yeah.
Did a A5. So we've done a number of shows there. The latest show that we did was we took my old A5 that you guys have seen us use in the show since the first Swan show we ever did. That was like first season.
Yeah.
And it was a camo gun, and we took it in and stripped it down, and they Cerakoted it and made it look like a Wicked Wings edition, but we put our own spin of camo on it, old school camo with the fishbone.
Yep.
With
a
our
little
logo.
flare on it.
Yeah, a little flare. So it's really kind of cool. It's a cool gun. Very, very proud of that gun. But that's the type of work that they teach at Montgomery Community College. So if you were even thinking about a career in it, I would absolutely, in guns, there's no better place than that place. I mean, it's an accredited, they call it actually the Montgomery Community College Gunsmithing and NRA school, I think.
Right.
So it is, and maybe NRA accredited. They have a lot of other stuff going on. But, I mean, you'll learn everything when it comes to gunsmithing from, you'll work on lathes, you'll work in the Cerakotes, you'll work in I mean,
barrels, crowning, and doing all sorts of stuff.
And blueprinting guns is it's really quite amazing. And they've done, they did a 1022 for me. They took an old 1022 of mine and turned it into an absolute laser beam. They did the same thing with an old ADL Series 700, Remington 700, and turned it into a shooting machine. And then we took the A5 and did that, did what we did with that. We don't know what we're going to do next. We got some things cooking, so we'll keep that a surprise for you. But that is a great program. I have to mention the taxidermy program that that was probably our top show still, probably the deer taxidermy
deer and
show.
turkey. Yeah.
Deer and turkey. And we did a duck
duck
one.
is up there too.
Yeah, duck is not too bad either, and it's coming on up the line. So we have had some critters that we have taken on the show that we have actually mounted there. And for anybody thinking about this and wondering, and maybe you're going to go watch the videos down the line, they are not doing this for the public. I need to say this. They don't do this for the public, but they do teach people how to do this. They have 3-day classes that they do specifically for 1022s and AR-15s and lever actions and all sorts of different guns. But they have these if you think you're going to give them a call and they're going to take your gun in and kind of do it on the side, that's not really what's going to happen. No, they did that for us just because we are here to illustrate the skills that they teach there. So please don't get that mixed up there. Just make preparations, come down and learn to do it yourself.
That's right.
It's a really cool thing. And the taxidermy, the same way. I mean, this is what they teach. They teach people how to manage their taxidermy business, but biggest thing, they teach them how to mount.
How to do it and do it well.
Yep, mount those birds, those bears, and those deers and
fish,
everything. I mean, they paint them, everything. It's a really crazy, great program, and we really are glad to be a part of that there. Got Chat Lee again this year. Chat Lee right here in Sanford, North Carolina. Very, very happy to have Chat Lee back with us again. And those guys sell so many boats. The Yao family has done a fantastic job with that business. They're right around the corner from our office, and I don't get over there as much as I need to. But, man, when I go in there, they're always so busy. I feel like I'm just like kind of in their way over there. But those sales guys are running around, and people are in and out of there, and they are selling those sea hunts and those Carolina skiffs and, oh, man, pontoon boats.
Every time we go out, we see one of their boats for the most part.
Yeah, if you pull up into most any parking lot with boats in it or boat trailers, because the boats are already unloaded, but you can look and see Chat Lee somewhere in there. Yep. They just move a lot of boats, and so they do a good job. They love what they do, and they do it very well. So if you ever get a chance to come down to Sanford, North Carolina, check out Chat Lee. They got a boat for you. I can guarantee that. We got. I think that's pretty much. We've got. Why would I not mention the Wake County Wildlife Club and Dixie Deer Classic? They have been so good to us right from way before we even started this whole show. I've been friends with a number of guys there. I'm actually an honorary member. I'm very proud to say I'm an honorary member of the Wake County Wildlife Club. They issued that to me several years ago, and I was just very honored to have that, for them to do that for me. And so I get to show up at the dinners, man.
That's right.
Do they not fix some good food down there? They have some of the best food I've ever had at a catered in to some of these things. And we've been to the Christmas parties. But the Wake County Wildlife Club does put on the Dixie Deer Classic every year as one of their big fundraisers. And if you know anything about deer shows, the Dixie Deer Classic is one of the best. It's one of the great ones that's been around for some of the longest, and a lot of different shows have modeled themselves after the Dixie Deer Classic. So we're over there in the Agri Supply building every year, down that wall next to the bathrooms. You'll find us over there.
You can't miss us.
Which works out pretty good for us, because guys are always sitting there watching our stuff or talking to us while their wives go to the bathroom, and it works out pretty well for us. So we have a good time. It's a great time to be. We love it. It's our Super Bowl. It's when we get a chance to talk with people, and we have people come by every week, every year, that have been watching our show, and they're kids. And I mean, we've been here long enough now that I got kids that are 18 years old that have been watching me since they were small kids. So 9 years. They were 9 years old when they started watching the show.
We've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, it's been there. We're very proud of that. Very proud that we've got kids growing up to the show, and we hope that more will grow up to the show, and who knows what'll happen in the years to come there. But I think I've covered, we've got wow, man, we've had a fantastic run so far. We're not looking to slow down at any given time. We are looking to carry on with Carolina All Out, and we can't do that without these sponsors. And so we're glad to mention them and talk about them. And if you're thinking about somebody I mentioned and you can't remember them, go to our website and take a look over there. We've got them all linked up over there. Of course, we always encourage you to get involved with our social media, as we are putting out content on a fairly regular basis, and we want to increase that as time goes on. We're just so busy with the shows right now that it sometimes it's hard to bring out that kind of content, but we intend to continue that game and keep that up. And one thing I will mention is that we have launched, kind of a soft launch, the Carolina All Out University, and we've been fooling around with this idea for some time. So I want to tell you about that. It's for lack of better terms, we're calling it the university right now, and it's going to be a learning DIY how to, and it's going to be everything in the outdoors. So you may see Josh telling you how to tune up your bow for a hunting setup.
Right.
We just did one kind of a test. We did it with Titus Kasner, and Titus did a how to take your beard and spurs and turn it into a cool lanyard.
Right.
It's about a 7-minute video, and it's really good. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. I feel like, and I hope that you'll watch that. I hope you guys, it's on Facebook right now. We do have a channel that we're going to release, a YouTube channel, and you can go there, but we wanted to get a few more together and edited before we just drop it. But you can go on Facebook on our Carolina All Out channel or page and find it there. And I'd like for you to give me some feedback on that, because we want to make sure that we'd love for you to try this little DIY project. If you killed a turkey this spring, I'd like for you to give it a try and see if you could, if it works for you, and if we covered everything that we were supposed to cover there. If we didn't leave anything out. Hopefully we didn't. And if it worked for you, please let us know. Please send us a picture of it. Let us know how it worked. If you want more or something else, we're open to suggestions, and we want to keep that going. And that's what we want this thing to be. This won't be just DIY projects. This is going to be potentially how to read. We might get with Kyle and do one with Kyle Farwell and do one on how to read your
live scopes. Yep.
It could be anything from how to properly fish worms to whatever it might be, creature baits, whatever is out there, crankbaits, whatever it is for bass fishing. We're going to try to cover everything possible in the outdoors and really fill up a channel full of these things. So give us your feedback. Let us know, and we'll see how we can bring this thing together. But I told you I wasn't going to try to keep you all that long, and I'm kind of pushing that limit right now. I do appreciate you so much for listening to us here at the Fur Fins and Feathers podcast. We have a great time doing this one, and we've got some new things and great things coming up. Please make sure that you tune in. Coming in July will be the new shows, and Josh will be over there working on them. You see him right there.
Yep.
You'll have that hat down.
I'll be in the dungeon.
Yeah, we call it the cave,
Yeah.
And Josh's hat will be kind of cocked up sideways on his head and look like he's been traumatized in some way.
That's right. If the thing would be doing circles on my head for the end of the day.
Well, anyway, that wraps it up for the Carolina All Out Fins, Fur, and Feathers podcast. Hey, don't forget to catch us on the Pursuit channel, too, 4 times a week, and on our YouTube channel, of course. All you got to do is type in Carolina All Out, and you should see the fishbone pop up there in red, white, and blue. And if you see that, click on that, and you can see all of our episodes there, our latest episodes with some other type of content that's up there. And make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and go to CarolinaAllOut.com. And I shouldn't forget that we have the Angler and Sportsman magazine that's up and running now, and you can catch all sorts of articles and that sort of thing there at anglerandsportsman.com. And so there's just a whole lot that we have going on here. We got merch. Got to always mention the merch. We got hats and shirts, and we'd love to see you out there wearing them and showing your love for North Carolina. And I think it'll be, I would love to see that. If you order any of that stuff, please take a picture of it out there doing something in the outdoors, because we love to post that on the social media side of things and show everybody that you are loud and proud with Carolina All Out. I can tell you that right now. We would be very pleased with that. I am Chris Douglas signing off. Ole Josh is back in the house, so he's signing off as well. Make sure you stay tuned for more Carolina All Out coming up in the future. And remember, our state is your next adventure.
Unless you're saddling up a horse, getting to your favorite fishing or hunting destination depends on fuel. That's why we choose Quality Mart, Quality Plus, and Go Gas. With 137 locations across North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and South Carolina, you'll find the fuel to get you to the field or on the water, and the ice, drinks, and snacks to enjoy your time while you're there. That's Quality Mart, Quality Plus, and Go Gas, official partners of Carolina All Out.
When I was a kid growing up on the farm in little old Lee County, periodically and usually in the fall after selling tobacco or in the early spring when it was time to start breaking ground, my family would make a trip to what seemed like a faraway place called AgriSupply. AgriSupply had everything we needed to keep the farm running, but it's so much more. From repairing trailers to parts for discs and plows, to livestock feed, to lawn and garden, to all that beautiful cast iron cookware. That tradition is still going on, but AgriSupply is now in 9 locations across the Southeast. If you haven't been to an AgriSupply store before, just go. You don't have to have a farm or a fleet of trucks to go in. The public is welcome. I guarantee you'll find something you need. And if you don't need it, I bet you'll want it. AgriSupply, it's what's inside.